Hey everyone, my name's Peter. I'm the creator of Mothership. I thought I'd do something a little bit different this update and give you guys a video unboxing of the final sample that I've received from the manufacturer. Just a heads up before we jump right into it, the sample that you're looking at is of course sample quality. So that means that some things will still be changed in the final run. Just one of the things to take notice of is the plastic tray. It does have a few little nicks and I think it has a tear in it. That's probably my fault from mucking around with it over the last couple of weeks. But just rest assured that the quality of the game that you guys will get will be pristine. And of course, if there's any issues with your order, you can message me. So here it is. Here's the game. It is huge, it is amazing, and it feels and looks incredible. So let's jump right into it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask as well afterwards, and I'll do my best to answer them all. Alright, so here it is. This is the final sample of Mothership. To give you a bit of an idea of how this box compares to the first edition box, if you're familiar with the first edition, here it is the first edition. So it's a bit dusty, just excuse that. But that's sort of what it looks like. It's kind of the same area. It's just a rectangular shape instead of a square shape, which is going to help a lot more with the fulfillment side of things because square boxes are surprisingly hard to come by. Most boxes are rectangular nowadays. So the first edition box is thin. It's about that thin, as you can see. I can't remember how thick that is. I think that's 7 centimeters thick. Whereas the new box is about that thick. But keep in mind, this is a little thicker than it's going to be in the final version. So I made this particular sample big to make sure that we can fit all of the parts inside it, because as you remember, we're trying to get everything, all of the expansions, the 8-player expansion as well, to fit in the base game box. So it was actually too big, so we're going to shave about 1.5 centimeters off it, which is about that much. So it's going to be a little bit thinner when you get to it, but again, it'll still be nice. It should still fit on your board game shelf and look amazing. So let's open it up and take a look. Now, also, I understand that for an actual unboxing, most of it, like, it's not like I've just purchased it from the shop or something like that. Like, I have taken all the shrink wrap off it. I have already gone through all the components and looked at everything. So, just assume that when you're opening up your copy, it will be shrink wrapped. Stuff will be a lot neater as well. So, first up, you can see that we've got all the tech trees. There's at the moment there's 8 of everything because that's how many will be in the when you get the 8-player expansion. You know, you'll have 8 in here in total. So you've got 8 tech trees, which, if you've looked at the graphics already on the Kickstarter page and on my website, they look so much nicer than the first edition ones. But nice thick boards as well. So gone are the flimsy card ones from the first edition. And 8 control panels as well. Yes, these are indented as well, and I love the indents. They look amazing. I'll have a separate shot of these later with the cubes on there, but they really just do feel solid and just look really nice. And everything is linen as well. I don't know if that shows through on the video, but everything in this box is linen, so just remember that. Next up, we've got the asteroids, the new look asteroids for the first edition. I much prefer this darker look than the older sort of grey look, and you've got the new artifact tokens as well. Bit of a design choice around making sure that the unexplored ones are a completely different color to the explored ones, just because when you're playing the game, you can kind of see through each of the planet stands, and you can sort of tell just by looking at it whether it has been explored or not. So if you can see that the planet has turned dark, then you can definitely realize that it has been explored, and that just helps when you're playing the game. Next up, the rulebook. I love this new rulebook, absolutely love it. The reason I love it is because it is huge. This is US legal letter size, I think that's it, letter size, which is similar to international A4 size. The point, it's big, it's huge, it's full color. The font is nice and easy to read. And I kind of didn't pull any punches with this one. I wanted to make sure that it was like really as big as it could possibly be. And it has even increased in page size significantly since the very first draft before the campaign started. I think we're up to 28 pages now, whereas I think it was 22 pages when I started it. But yeah, really nice and big. Next, we've got the normal game board. This is the regular one that you get with the game. The same artwork that was in the first edition. Looks like that. It is quadfold. And there you go. That's what it looks like on the other side. Just another feature that I haven't actually really talked about all that much. You might notice that, you might have figured out as well, the printing goes all the way to the edge, up to here. So in theory, if you had two of these boards, and even the 8-player expansion board, the big one, you can join them together and just make your player surface huge. The reason why I haven't really advertised it as a feature is because on the other side, because the second side printing is actually a bit smaller, it doesn't go all the way to the edge. So I think on this side it actually lines up correctly, and yes, you could join it together with another board, but on this side, it's not really the same all the way down. So you could technically still do it, it just won't look as good, but again, I didn't want to advertise that feature because it's not, like, it's something that was outside of my control. You might also notice there's a little bit of bubbling on this. That's just because this is a sample board, so these samples are put together by hand as opposed to the production copies, which are put together by machines. So the machines are a lot more careful than people are, and there's a lot less room for error. So, of course, if there is any bubbling in your final copy, drop me a message. I will replace it. This is the large board. So again, this doesn't come in the base game. This comes with the 8-player expansion. This particular one is quad fold. The final version will be folded into sixes, 1/6 the size. It's huge. I love the new artwork. My dear wife has done an amazing job of this. Much better than my older black hole one, which, if you'll remember, I wasn't that fond of. And yeah, nice purple on the back. Another thing, the other reason why I wanted to change the artwork, at least on the board, is on this board, is because the purple before was a little bit too bright and it blended into the nebula tiles too much. So when you had the purple nebula tiles on there, you couldn't really make it out from the rest of the board. So that was really annoying, but that looks a lot better now. So thank you, Alkira, for your free artwork. All right, this is the tray. This is the money shot, really. Except for that has fallen out. So this is the ship tray, which you've all seen renders of on the Kickstarter, but it looks as good as it does on the renders. It is fantastic. This actually took a few revisions to get right. For the original ones, the ships were actually falling out a little bit. This one not included. This one does snap in there, but yeah, these were falling out quite easily, and I said, look, they need to actually stay in there, and they sent it back, and they did a few more things with it, and it is perfect as well right now. So I'm really happy. These pop in and pop out as you'd expect, which is really nice, and it just looks fantastic. I mean, look at those rainbow of colors. I love it. I don't know if you like your science fiction board games to be dark and gritty, but I love it bright and colorful. I think it's fantastic. You'll notice that there are some spaces missing here. That's because this is where the Guardian cannons go. The Guardian cannons, they need to be produced. The molds have been finished for them, but of course I won't actually get those proper mass-produced copies until I get the game along with everyone else. So that is those ones. Really cool design feature with this tray. I haven't even talked about this at all yet. This is the ship lid. So this is going to stop. This is going to stop ships if they do come loose from falling out and going everywhere. And you can also, put things on top of it like that. But you'll also notice that there are indents here. Indents, little wells, whatever you want to call them. These are really, really useful because in the middle of the game, if I can grab out some of these. In the middle, when you're playing the game, you can put resources on them. So there's 3 spots for the 3 resources. You can still put whatever you want there, though. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother sorting these out, but you get the idea. So you've got your you can have your minerals in one, gas in the other, influencing the other, and it's just a really nice way to have your game organized while you're playing. Same sort of idea as the first edition with the card holder that pops out of the tray. Same sort of deal. Same idea. And you can thank Alkira again for coming up with that idea, because she's like, hey, why don't you do this with a tray? And I went, that's a good idea. So that was a really good late addition that I haven't spoken to you about. So there you go, you can enjoy that when it comes out. As you just saw before, I got them out. These are the cubes for the gas and the minerals and the influence. Standard plastic board game cubey things. You'll notice that this time round in the second edition, the capture markers come separated from the bottoms of the ships and loose in just a bag. So much, a much better idea. As you're probably familiar with the first one, you had to keep taking the ships. The capture markers are on the bottom of the ships, and that's how you pack them away. So no longer do you need to sit there and take them all off and put them all back on. They're just in one thing. So much easier. Should have done that before. But anyway. Here's the mineral planets. We'll go into a bit more detail with those, with the gas planets in just a few moments. In here we've got the victory point trackers, victory point markers, the other QB things that you need, the energy, HP, and the tech counters. You've got a separate spot here for the planetary development cards. So they look like that. And these are a little bit smaller than the action cards, but they look fantastic. So they fit in here. I wanted to make the sizes of these compartments sort of as big as I could, because I do know that people like to sleeve the cards. I like to sleeve some of my games, not all of them. I do like to sleeve some of them, and it is annoying when the sleeves don't fit in the compartments. So hopefully, as you can see, there's quite a lot of room there. There should be enough room for any sleeves. For if you sleeve them all, you know, even if they double in width, they should be able to fit in there. But there's also enough room for the expansions as well. So the objective cards from Call of the Void will go in here, and the extra action cards and class cards will go into this compartment. And here are the action cards with the corresponding artwork on the back. There you go. And then artifact cards like so, and then the quick tip cards. So they look fantastic. Also, actually, kind of a little bit of news as well with the action cards. For the purple action cards, the artwork has changed. This isn't the new artwork. I'll be posting in maybe the next update after this some more details about the new artwork, what it looks like. Basically, because Alkira does all of the artwork for everything, and she wasn't really happy with this one. I kind of understood why she wasn't happy with it. She said it was a little bit too busy for the card. That one's fine, but that one's probably a little bit hard to make out the details, so we've changed up the artwork, and I'll be posting that soon. The new artwork is amazing, as you would expect. Now, here's something that I haven't shown any real-life pictures of yet. Look at this. This is the bonus die. This looks absolutely fantastic. The printing and the engraving has come up really nicely on this. It looks as good as you would expect it to. And just, let's get a close look at that. There we go. That just looks... It's just turned out so nicely. It's really colourful. And you can see all the different sides have got unique colours on them as well. And yeah, that's just going to be a really nice addition to the game. Next up with the dice, we do have just the normal plain boring black dice. Sorry about that, they are really cheap to buy. We did actually have a secret stretch goal actually for custom dice, but we just didn't quite get to it. I thought it, you know, let people use their favourite dice when they're playing the game. But yeah, for this one, you just get the normal black dice. But that's actually everything in the first edition. So that's quite a lot of stuff that you get. Obviously, minus the extra control panels and the extra board and so forth. And now we'll have a look at the expansion packs. Okay, so here's the expansions. I love that these were both the same size boxes. I did that on purpose just because I wanted to keep things consistent, and I really like how that turned out. As you can see, there's two individually designed logos that went on the box and separate artwork for them. A bit of a theme running through the artwork as well. You've got this one ship here flying through the vortex, flying into the vortex, and this one going into the void of space. So excellent job, Alkira, again for the artwork on those. And on the back, there's a bit of a blurb and a bit of a picture about the expansion itself, what it adds, and a bit of a disclaimer as well, just letting you know that it is an expansion. Don't purchase this expecting to be able to play it by itself. But we'll take a look at this one first. We'll take a look at Into the Vortex. This one is still shrink wrapped. This is the extra action cards and the extra artifacts that you get with it. So there you go. That's what your shrink wrap will look like. Here's your class cards. So these are landscape, not portrait, and they look excellent. And I love this. I love that I was able to make the rulebook the same size as the box itself. It just fits in there so neatly. I love it. Even though it is a smaller rulebook than the main game, the font size is about the same, as well as all the pictures. So the pictures are about the same. Like, I've tried to make them as big as possible. So this is an 8-page little mini rulebook. There you go, some extra board layouts on the back. And the rest of the box is taken up with the Nebula. So if you did manage to get your hands on the first edition Nebula, they were all on 2 sheets, similar to the asteroids. These are split up. So, like so. And here we've got the extra artifacts that come with the game. And then you've got the extra wormholes, black on the back. But yeah, that's how they come this time round. Alright, next up, Call of the Void. Again, I've taken the shrink wrap off these cards. And these are the Distress Beacon cards. Again, these look fantastic. Nice bright purple in the back, which I love. The colors are so bright. The other side of them, they actually aren't that bright. I toned it down on purpose because it was a little bit hard to read with the brighter purple. So bright purple there, kind of a muted purple on the other side, but much easier to read. And these are actually bigger cards. I don't know if you've had a chance to notice that online, but these cards are much larger than the action card size. This is the action card size, the class cards, so you can see they're just a little bit bigger. Just keep that in mind if you're going to be buying sleeves for these. And look at that, 60 all individual unique story cards. A huge thank you goes out to Bjorn Brett, who wrote them with me. Bjorn Brett is a longtime friend of mine who we just love finding excuses just to do little creative projects together. So this was a really good one. I really hope that we can make more of these as well. So it took us a little while just to do all 60 of these, but we really enjoyed them. So you know what? You might get some more in the future. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But and Bjorn, if you're watching this, I don't know if I've actually told you. I'm going to see if you can write some more, but you'll be getting that phone call from me soon. Over here is the objective cards. These are all unique as well. There's only one objective per card as well. There's not like double ups or duplicates or anything like that. But yeah, these are the same size as the planetary development cards. And here we have the new black hole tiles and the neutron stars. Oh, these look fantastic. These have already been popped out, by the way, so that's why they're all over the place. Those little locks. But yeah, these are fantastic. I love that I was able to just squeeze the development of this in, because it was an idea I had going for a while, but I just didn't have time to put it together. So really happy that came together just before we had to send them off. But yep, you get 16 of these Distress Beacon tokens, and they represent the ship that you need to unlock that Distress Beacon, or to respond to that Distress Beacon. Yeah, so that'll hopefully keep you occupied for a lot longer. Again, we've got the rulebook matching the same size as the box. Same sort of deal. It's this one's 12 pages long, so it's a bit bigger because the Distress Beacons take a little bit longer to explain in this. But same sort of deal. Nice, big font, nice pictures, bright colors. And yeah, that's it for that one. So that was Call of the Void. So here we have the new control panel. The new design looks absolutely fantastic, and we have these wonderful indents. Have a look at these. Look at that. Let's zoom in real close. The printing is actually shown up really well in these, and having the indents is as amazing as you think it would be. Look, they don't really come out very easily, even with a bit of a shake. That one almost did. But even with a bit of a shake, it doesn't come out very easily, as you would expect. A lot of backers were worried, like,
if you were playing the game, is it a problem that you can't sort of slide them from one row to another like they were used to with the first edition? With the testing that we've done on these, it hasn't been a big deal. It's actually the trade-off of having that sliding mechanism compared to just having it a lot neater and not falling out has really been well worth it. You can slide them a little bit, but overall they do stay in place, and it's so much better than it was before. I'm really happy that we were able to reach this stretch goal. And let's have a bit of a shake again. There you go, nice and solid. So I'm sure all of you will appreciate that. And as you can see, much thicker boards this time. Gone again are the flimsy card control panels from the first edition, and yeah, I think you guys will really love this. Alright, so now we're going to have a quick look at some of the new minis that I was able to get in with the samples. This is the Guardian Cannon, and I absolutely love the Guardian Cannon model. These turned out really well. I mean, this is just the sample as well. It's going to look better in the final production version, but these look absolutely fantastic. I think the only problem with these samples is that that is way too loose. These actually fall off the stand, but that's one of the things they're fixing in the final copy. But they look really good. The models turned up really nicely, considering how small it is. I know it's sometimes a little bit difficult to see how small these are, but yeah, they look really good, and I know that you'll be happy with them as well. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm showing everyone today. There's some new minis that were printed with the gas planets and the moons. Over here we've got the mineral planets. Everyone gets about 8 of those. And if you've ordered more, that's what they're going to look like. So I'll just give that a bit of a turn. But if you're familiar with the first edition, you already know what that looks like. Here's the gas planets. They have turned out really, really well. Again, the hole on these is a little bit loose, so the manufacturer is going to be fixing that up. But these have just turned out absolutely fantastic. I was really happy I was able to keep that same sort of almost cartoony look with the planets. It's actually really hard to design 3D miniature printed planets that look like unique when you're looking at them, far away when you're playing a board game. So I was really happy with the design of that. And over here we've got the new moon as well. You got the moon and the moon stand. It does swivel a little bit, which I like, but that's turned out really, really, really nicely. And we've also got this with the moon actually fits on a stand by itself, so you can play with it just actually by itself. You don't need to attach it to another stand with another planet. You can use it as a small planet or a planetoid, which has a slightly different rules. And actually, kind of a cool thing which I didn't notice until I got the samples in, but you can actually, let me try this, you can actually fit 2 moons on one stand, like so. This is going to be a bit lopsided, but there you go. So you can fit 2 of them on there. There's no rules written for 2 moons on one stand, but I'm sure you can make something up. It won't be that difficult. But yeah, hopefully that'll just add a little bit more variety to the rest of the game. And yeah, they've turned out really good. So a big shout out to Boda Games, who've manufactured these samples. You've done a really good job, and I'm looking forward to getting the full copies.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Just to let you know, if you have any questions over the next couple of months before we wrap things up, then feel free to drop me a line either via email or messages via Kickstarter as well, or Board Game Geek. Just to let you know that the updates over the next few months will probably start to get further and further apart, just because there's not really much to talk about. What we're going to do now is wait a few months for the factory to actually finish producing the games, and then we've got to wait for the games to go on the boat all the way to all of the countries that they're getting sent out. But I will still check in, so just keep an eye on Kickstarter updates if you really want to know what I'm doing. But other than that, thanks for watching, and thanks again for backing Mothership.